Okay, so here is our first problem. We're going to take this shape, and obviously we have a rectangle, and we're going to revolve it. To revolve triangle or rectangle ABCD over line y equals 0, remember that is the x-axis. Y is 0 at the x-axis. We're going to, what we do is we're going to draw in what we're going to revolve it over. Then all we do is reflect it over the line. So here is a line. I had to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So I count 4 in the other direction. Same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these points are on the line, so that's awesome. And we just kind of draw it in. Pardon my sloppiness. Whoa, that's ugly. All right, so now if you were to look at this head on after it's revolved, it looks like a big rectangle, but we need to make it look 3D. So how we make it look 3D is you just draw, whoops, my pen to work here. Just draw in some arc marks here, and we can't see this one at the bottom, so I do it as dashed, and that gives it a three-dimensional look now. And so when you look at it, you no longer just see a rectangle, you do see a 3D object. It is a cylinder on its side. So we want to first lead with that. This is a cylinder. The dimensions of this cylinder, so again, if you turn it kind of and you're looking at it sideways, the dimensions, we would have a radius. So find one of your circle tops or bottoms, and this is the radius. 1, 2, from the center out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the radius is 4. The height is what connects the two bases. So the height would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the height is 5, and that is connecting both the bases, and the radius is 4. So they're asking us to calculate the volume of this cylinder, and the volume is pi r squared times the height. So that is going to be 80 pi. And if you were to approximate that, I think your homework does ask you to round it to the nearest tenth. We're going to say, whoa, we're not going to say that. We're going to say 200, sorry. 251.3, I believe. Okay, and that would be the volume, and that is in units cubed because you're filling something up. We're not going to do the lateral area, but if we did the surface area, for the surface area, I'm going to write my work out to the side over here. You need 2 of the bases. Maybe we should say SA. 2 of the bases, so it's 2 pi r squared. In addition to that, we need to do the circumference, which is 2 pi r. Times the height. And that's like this rectangle that's wrapping. The top part of that rectangle is going to be, or if you had the rectangle on the side, is going to be the circumference, and then the height is the other dimension of that rectangle. That does turn out to be 72 pi. And if we were to round that to the nearest tenth, and I think that's what your homework has you do, and that is an area, so it's units squared. Okay, does that make sense so far? All right, let's try this one down here. Okay, we're going to revolve again. I think it's the same shape, but this time we're going to revolve it around x equals 0, and that actually, when x is 0, that's the y-axis. So here's our line, and we have a point right on that line of reflection, which is awesome. To get this other point, we count in the other direction. Same thing at this point, we count in the other direction. and then you just create your shape by connecting. So if we were to revolve this and look at it straight on, it would look like just a big rectangle. What is happening? To make it that 3D look, here is the top circular base. We make it like an oval. Here is the bottom. Use some dashes to kind of give it that 3D feel. Alright, and you can certainly trace over the original if it makes it look better to you. Alright, so this is again a cylinder. This time the radius of this one is 5 from the center to the edge, and the height is between the two bases, so the height of this one is 4. If we were asked to find the volume, remember the volume is whatever the base is times the height. So our volume is pi r squared times the height. That's going to be 100 pi, and that would round to 314.2. Volumes are in cubic because you're filling something up. The surface area, remember, is 2 bases plus the circumference, because that rectangle that wraps will have one dimension, the circumference, so that's 2 pi r. And then it is also times the height. That's going to be the other dimension of your rectangle that wraps around. So this is going to turn out to be, let's see, 90 pi. And if you did round, that would be 282.7 units squared, because it's an area. All right, that's kind of long, sorry.